So I want you to think about your foundation and how your energetic foundation as a whole can make or break your manifesting, but it can also show you a lot about the vibration that you are personally emitting. Okay, so this week, let's talk about your energetic set point. Stay tuned. Hey guys, it's Ashley from theawakenedstate.net. Now, this week, I really want to talk about our energetic set point. Why? Because we've been diving heavily in the Mind Body Revolution series, where we have been talking a lot about power mantras, how to anchor into your foundation, what does it mean to step into a place of embodiment when it comes to the mind-body connection. And most importantly, we've been kind of like really exploring a different way to manifest from looking at your goals and your intentions from a place that's more in alignment with identity and stepping into an identity shift. And so what I really want to talk about this week is really exploring this concept of the foundation. So here's the thing. This has been like a lesson that has been like repeatedly coming up for me. And I feel like it's such a crucial like lesson to learn around external influence. So here's the thing is we have to understand that our energetic foundation holds the space for what we desire to have, achieve, co-create, manifest. And if we are not truly holding that properly within our beingness, it can be like every time the wind blows, every time there's an upset, every time there's a negative scenario that randomly occurs, every time there's a temper tantrum that starts to happen, whatever it may be, if you are not firmly rooted and grounded into your personal foundation and standing strong for that particular paradigm that you are trying to co-create, you will immediately collapse the foundation. And you have to see it this way, because this is how we actually co-create. So this is kind of like a manifesting little hack, a little trick that I've been working on, and I feel like it's really solidifies what you need to understand when it comes to manifestation. And it's to look at it from a lens of how firm is the foundation you are standing on. Are you standing strong for the paradigm you are creating, or are you immediately folding and collapsing the foundation the moment that something takes you out, the moment that you have resistance, the moment that you fear like change, the moment that you are totally in a high vibe place, but then either a temper tantrum happens, or someone freaks out, or you get into a fight with your spouse, or whatever is occurring behind the scenes. And what happens is naturally we fall out of our foundation and it collapses. And when we're doing that from a place of not truly honoring who we are, we can easily feel like we're building a foundation on sand. We're building our house on a foundation of sand, and it collapses every time we try to stabilize it. So I want you to consider that, like with the Mind Body Revolution, we're kind of working on stabilizing a new energy. And when you think about stabilizing a new energy, we're basically stabilizing a new habit. Okay, so let's drop the fancy talk. Basically, we're establishing a new habit into our paradigm. What is our paradigm? A paradigm is made of your identity, your beliefs, your values, your habits, your energy, your emotions. Everything that makes up who you are is how you have created your personal paradigm. If you look around you right now, that is your paradigm. That is your current paradigm. Your thoughts, your beliefs, your actions, your habits, your behaviors, your emotions, your consistent patterns, your consistent habits, your consistent thoughts. all of those things that are happening on repeat, creating either a Groundhog Day or creating a massive revolution of how you see yourself and how you approach growth, that is your paradigm. So to hold strong for a different paradigm, we have to be aware that there are other paradigms will try to set us off course. And those other paradigms, it doesn't matter what they're saying. It doesn't matter what they're telling you. It doesn't matter what's going on behind the scenes. It doesn't matter because your paradigm is strong. And when you hold a strong foundation, you will inevitably see a shift occur because you are no longer allowing the external influence, the external situation, the circumstance to govern you. And when you don't allow the circumstance to govern you, now you have held the container of the foundation. Okay, are you with me so far? So I want you to think about it like this. When you have a belief that you want to change your current paradigm. So, we can keep this simple with money or a relationship, but I want you to just think about what is the belief that you want to change and how are you approaching that? Are you approaching it from every time something comes up? You have a form of resistance, you have a form of denial or discouragement, or you have a situation come up where a person is basically vomiting their insecurities back at you. Whenever that occurs, that's a moment to listen deeper and hold stronger to the belief that you want to hold and have in your life. So instead of getting influenced by the lack of safety, the lack of support, the lack of appreciation, whatever is going on, instead you bring back the focus to your foundation and you say, no, but this is what I believe. No, this is what I believe. And the more we anchor back into our foundation, we do start to have a different conversation, because here's the thing, the circumstance doesn't matter as much as your personal state of being. And the more you anchor into your state of being, and so I like to call this in the energy management toolkit, it's the home frequency of you. So you have to realize that there's always other frequencies going on around the scenes, and they have different paradigms, they have different beliefs, they have different habits, they have different ways of looking at the world. They have a different way of seeing the world. A person who's in a paradigm of believing the world is always out to get them probably excessively watches the news and is frantically always on edge. That's a different paradigm than someone who believes that they naturally believe that the world is made of good people and they feel safe in the world and they feel supported in the world and they are naturally abundant and wealthy. It's a totally different vibe because they're in a different paradigm. So when you start to see the world like this, you realize that there are different frequencies going on all the time, as if we almost live in a multiverse. And that multiverse of different paradigms is showing different dimensions of time that are showing you different perspectives of time. So you have to see that there will always be other paradigms coexisting with your paradigm, but you have to be holding your paradigm in a strong foundation so that when someone comes up to you and says something scary about the world, or they are freaking out about their boyfriend, or they're tripping up about such and such, or your kid just has a temper tantrum out of nowhere and says a bunch of random obscenities, you have to hold stronger to you and your home frequency. So we always have a home frequency. This is what I really want to talk about today. You have a set energetic point. This is you in your home frequency. So in the energy management toolkit, I go hugely into this, and we talk a lot about how when you honor your home frequency, that's when everything falls into place, because you're honoring the state of your authentic truth. So in the home frequency of you, you're kind of like this radio, okay? And so you can be an FM, you can be an AM, you could be on this channel and this channel and this channel. Well, say your set vibrational standpoint is I don't know, 93.9, whatever. And so you're 93.9. So every time you veer off of not being on 93.9, you are going to be way over here listening to all of these different paradigms and these different views and these different frequencies and these different conversations. And instead, you're not holding strong to your home frequency, your home radio system. And when you don't hold strong to your own home radio, you're off over there veering off in like B96 world, or you're veering off in 103.5, and you're veering off in 3.420, and all these different numbers. And what's naturally occurring is you're veering farther and farther and farther and farther and farther away from who you are, your authentic truth, your authentic self. And who you are as a person becomes dominated by them versus you. And what naturally occurs is you start listening more to their frequencies, their opinions, their judgments, their outside noise. And what naturally occurs is you stop listening to yourself. And when you stop listening to yourself, you have fiercely dropped out of your alignment. You can no longer hear yourself. You can no longer hear higher self. You are now dominated by fear and the fight, flight, freeze response, because naturally you are no longer in your alignment. So when we don't hold strong to that foundation, we will always start to feed into other people's frequencies. So if you're an overactive empath, you probably are very familiar with this concept. However, you must realize, and this is the point that I'm trying to make here, you have to understand what is your energetic set point, and you are always the one who can hold stronger to your foundation than whatever is being fed to you outside of you. You must realize that you are the one driving the car. You are the one driving the ship. You are the one veering off into the sunset. It is not anyone else. And you are the one that drives the car, because you are the one that is deciding how this energy thing goes for you. You're the one deciding how this whole paradigm goes for you. You're the one that's deciding how your manifestations come to you. You're the one in control. And you have to realize that to step fully into your personal energetic management of who you are, you have to be in the driver's seat of your life and know that you need to anchor into your foundation of your beliefs. And even though there will be things that come up around you that may test you, that may strengthen you, that may completely throw you off course, you have to be willing to come back to your home frequency and say, enough is enough. I choose me. I choose me. I am enabling my frequency and my beliefs and what I believe. And that is the space where you now hold the power. Now you hold the power to create radical shifts and radical changes, because now you are holding your own paradigm. You are standing stronger for your paradigm while other paradigms exist. And in the space of holding strong for your own personal paradigm, it doesn't matter what's going on in the other paradigms, because you're holding the frequency of your paradigm. So how do you hold it? Well, very simply, you just keep coming back. You keep coming back to what is true for you. What is your truth? What is your truth? What is the truth of your paradigm? How do you want to believe about the world around you? How do you want to see the world around you? Instead of being reliant on all of those external influences because they exist, how can you stay in the conversation of your higher truth despite what is being fed to you? And then the constant journey of that is also to make sure that you're feeding the mind the right information. Do you spend time feeding your mind the right information? Because regardless of what's going on around you, you have to make time and space for your home frequency and feeding your mind the right information. So those are your tips. So focusing more on your home frequency. What does that feel like? What does that look like? Who is the authentic you? Feed your mind the right information. What do you need to feel in that space of higher truth? What do you need to feel that makes you lit up and excited inside? What do you need to do that helps bring you into that space where you feel empowered, you feel more confident, you feel more certain? Where are you not getting the right information that you need to be on the right trajectory? And then finally, I want you to think about this from a place of action. Now, as you're holding that anchored foundation of your energetic set point of who you are, your authentic self, and you're feeding your mind the right information, now naturally you will feel into the actions you need to take through your intuition. And it's through your intuition that you will always be guided, because your magnetism is created from your intuition. Your magnetism is created from your intuition. So the more you listen to your intuition, the more you are naturally on course towards what you want. So you hold the paradigm that you want to stand for. You feed your mind the right information, and then you take action from that place. And that is the space where magic and miracles happen, because you are no longer listening to all of these different paradigms that are saying conflicting information that is throwing you off course. And instead you're honed in on your particular frequency, and you're like a laser beam ready to shoot out so that you are more in alignment with the actions you actually need to take, the information you actually need to hear, the beliefs you actually need to ingest. And then instead you are starting to change the trajectory of the experience you're on, as if you were on a train and you're suddenly changing tracks, because now you're no longer fixated and stuck and stagnant on all of this different noise going on, and instead you're honing in on your foundation. So my tip for you today is, I want you to play with these concepts and start to feel into what are the beliefs that would help you with your manifestation, and are you anchoring in fully to them, feeding your mind that right information and taking the actions you need to take? Because if you're not, then it's time to start looking at, well, what are the beliefs I need that would help me embody that? What are the beliefs that would help me embody that as who I am? So when it comes to looking at your energetic set point, tune into this information and feel into who is the authentic you. Okay, I hope you enjoyed this week's video drop. I would love to hear your thoughts about this topic in the comments, and share the love by hitting the bell, and give this a like if you enjoy it. Share it with your friends if this really helped you. All the things. Subscribe for our weekly video drops, and I'll see you guys next time. Love ya.